So I initially wasn't gonna film a video about this, but then I set up this camera that I rented from my school with a light and the lavalier mic because I was checking all this equipment, and I threw this lamp on in the back because I thought it would look cool, and I kind of convinced myself that I needed to make a video today. And thankfully, God blessed me with the newest Ultraman trailer being Ultraman Decker. Now, let's get this out of the way. I really don't watch Ultraman like that, although I do want to. I've mentioned this on the podcast recently, which, by the way, go check out the podcast if you haven't seen it. Shameless plug, if we get to 100 subscribers by the end of the month, we are going to be watching, Nox and I are going to be watching the first episode of Goggle 5 and talk about it on the podcast. And if it gets to 500 subscribers by the end of the month, I will be watching Goggle 5 all by myself. I will be watching the entire series and chronicling my journey with it. Literally, I will watch the least interesting Sentai, the literal least relevant Sentai on the planet, if we can get this channel to 500 subs by the end of the month. So please do that for me. But today, we're gonna be looking at the Ultraman Decker trailer. And I really like the direction that Ultraman is sort of going, in that it's sort of these new generation series that are meant to introduce similar concepts and ideas into like the new generation of people watching Ultraman. Because obviously we haven't been around all the time. Obviously I'm a much newer fan. I only started watching around Ginga. And like I said, I haven't really watched that many Ultramen, although I'm very interested in it when I am. And you know, I think this is a cool sort of way to do it, in sort of bringing back old concepts, bringing back new ideas, and revitalizing them and rejuvenating them. Now I haven't seen Trigger, which may make everything that I'm saying kind of a moot point because I don't really know what I'm talking about. But from what I can tell, I'm really into what Ultraman is trying to do here. Ideally, if they go in this direction where not everything is an anniversary and everything is sort of like a new sort of retelling or rejuvenation, or maybe like a sequel series to old shows, I think that's far more interesting than to have everything be a reference to everything. It's kind of the opposite of the anniversary problem, where anniversaries, everything is a reference to everything else. But in a sequel series, you get a little more leeway because it's a sequel to only one show. It's not a sequel to the entirety of the series. So this could be a really interesting idea depending on how they execute it. So I have it pulled up here on my phone because I set up my laptop here in the back, and I think this looks fire. I might be a little too white. I don't know. I might be a little too pale now that I'm looking, because I can see me there too. So I might be a little too pale. Let's just get over it. So for starters, immediately I'm a big fan of these sort of like sweeping shots of like what Dyna is. You know, as someone who hasn't seen Dyna, obviously, I very much like this sort of like introduction to it. Like, this is Dyna. This is this hero. This is this person that you should be all about because he is the bomb diggity, and this video ended and I need to restart it so that I can still have this cool effect behind me. But it's very much like this introduction, like, this is Dyna. This is who he is. He's a badass. You should fuck with him. You know, and I like that. Shoots up into space, how every good Ultraman is. And that's a really good sweeping shot of the suit. That is a dope like the way the camera moves around the suit and it presents his face, it looks tight, it looks fire. It very much like hypes, I'm hyped, you know what I mean? I'm one of those people who will say all Ultraman kind of look the same sometimes. And this is a very distinct looking Ultra with like the open head with like this cosmic sort of look into it, and this asymmetrical, I don't know if I'm pausing at like a good point, this asymmetrical sort of shoulder pad, that's sick. That's a sick sort of like design detail of just like a psh right here. Fire. Guts is back, baby! I don't know why, I get very hyped. Even though I don't know a lot about Ultraman, like I said, I get very hyped when I see the Guts logo, because I'm like, yo, it's fucking Guts, you know? Like, that's just a dope acronym to have. Immediately, the CG is significantly better than Sentai. The CG is significantly better than Sentai has ever been. So much better. It's phenomenal. Like it's actually really well done, which I didn't think would be Tsuburai's strong suit. Typically, Tsuburai's strong suit is like these sort of practical effects and like camera angles and like camera movement and stuff. But the CG actually really is top notch here. Not perfect, obviously. It's not like, you know, AAA movie standards, but it's pretty decent. It's pretty decent considering the type of show that this is. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie, the D in that logo looks... I'm a dirty birdie. The D in that logo, in my mind, is in the gutter, dude. Ultraman D, that's how I'm reading it. You know what D stands for. I ain't even gonna play you. And it's coming out in July 2022, which is when I believe most Ultramen come out. Overall, I'm very excited to watch this. I definitely want to see the first episode and do the sort of same thing that we do for Sentai and Kamen Rider on the channel. I want to bring more Ultraman content. More specifically, I just want to get into Ultraman. Like, I really want to like immerse myself into it because it's something that I've been so like tertiarily interested in. I want to be one of those people who actually says that they watch Ultraman and love it and like mean it. Because realistically, you have two sort of groups, maybe three sort of groups in the fandom. There's the group of people that think that Ultraman is like whatever, it's the third show, you know, and they'll never really watch it because they don't really have any sort of interest in it. You have the people who watch Ultraman and are in love with it and absolutely get hyped as hell every time that they see a new Ultra series coming out, which is what I want to be. But what I am is the third group, and that's the type of person who sees Ultraman. I look at it from a distance, and I check in and out. You know, I watch the first half of X, I watch a lot of Ginga, I watch a lot of this and that, but I never finish a series. I never really immerse myself into it. I check it out on Pluto TV whenever it's on Tokusatsu and stuff, but I never finish a season, and I never really keep up with it like I do the other shows. And I want to be in that second category, but I'm definitely in this category. You know what I mean? So I think Decker might be not necessarily the best one because it's like a sequel series, but I think Decker might be the first Ultraman that I really go in on, because I can't explain it. Like, I haven't felt this way about Toku in a really long time. You know, like, it's been so long since I've been like watching every single episode of Superhero Time and like been around like this, that like I'm very much in like a Toku mood. I'm very excited about Tokusatsu right now, which I don't know if it's because I'm making content. I don't know if it's because the shows right now have me sort of hooked. It could be a mixture of both, but I'm very excited about Toku. And I haven't felt this way in a while. And this is the first time I've ever noticed an Ultraman trailer sort of drop and hit me in the gut. No pun intended. Like, hit me like, wow, I need to see this. You know what I mean? So I'm very excited to see what comes out of this. We need a clickbait thumbnail reaction, don't we? Because this is a reaction video. It needs to have my face in it. You can't, because what, I'm gonna put Dyna in this corner and then me where? So I gotta have some type of reaction. Am I too pale? I might be too pale for this, dude. Everything might be too overexposed. I can dim everything a little bit down. Don't really matter. Let's get a good thumbnail reaction though.